Hey Michael, I wanted to show you my latest mechanical engineering effort. This is a gravel cleaner, and this is a pile of clean gravel from the gravel cleaner. And I'm going to take you over and show you where the fine material is getting collected underneath. You see that pile underneath this thing. So what happens, this is kind of a shaker table, and I load it from the top here with shovels out of the backhoe, shovelfuls out of the backhoe, load it here, and the whole table is shaking, and it's on an incline, so it gets sifted as you go. There's a screen on that thing, and the fine material drops underneath as I showed you before, and then the coarse material goes on down the line and gets hit by these spray nozzles, which I've got covered up with this stuff. And spray nozzles wet it down, and then it kind of sits in a little pocket there. You see where it's collected a little bit right there. It sits in a little bit of a pocket and rolls over until there's such mass that collected that it starts to roll on off, and then it feeds on off and comes out here in this pile as clean gravel. There's a pump mechanism over here, which starts with a supply basin, and this water all starts out nice and clean. You see it's kind of dirty now, but this is pumping through that hose up to the nozzles, which are spraying, and it's supplied by this siphon tube that's picking up from this bin and siphoning over, and that's picking up from this bin and siphoning over, and this bin is getting supplied from the discharge. So we're constantly circulating the water. It starts out clean and over time gets dirty, but most of the contaminants wind up in this container, and then the siphon process picks up generally clean water, but we still get some deposits in this container, and we get some cloudiness in this container, but I don't let it get too dirty before I exchange it all. But it's not using a lot of water, it's reusing a lot of water. And the discharge tube is fed by some pieces of sheet metal underneath. You probably can't see very well, but there's sheet metal under this section that's catching the water that falls through and sends it into this pipe that sends it into the discharge. So there's that aspect of it. The other aspect is the whole thing it shakes. It's a shaker table. So you load it from the top there. It's on an incline, and as it's shaking and oscillating, the fine material drops through the screen and falls into the fine pile, as you see, and the heavier material, or the larger material, doesn't get through the screen and keeps on progressing through the process. But over here is the drive mechanism for the shaker table. This is some mechanical stuff. It's rudimentary, it's farm stuff, but it's a 3-horsepower motor turning at 1700 RPMs. So I have to reduce it once right there in the center, and then I reduce it again when I get to the actual drive point. And then there's a rotating cam or drive shaft, which is just sort of an offset cam, so that the table oscillates as the pulleys turn. So turning rotary motion into linear motion and reducing as we go. I've also got just some pieces of cardboard for dust containment, and these pieces of plywood just to keep the dust from getting out of hand. And of course I'm wearing a dust mask. And so the backhoe is currently empty. I don't know if you can see the bucket. The backhoe bucket is empty, and you see what I'm doing. I'm digging out the run install again. We did that several years ago, and it looks like it's going to be an ongoing process. So let me fill the bucket up and break a sweat, and then I'll turn this thing on and let you see it running, and you'll get a kick out of it, I think. All right. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on now. I'll throw a few shovels in there. I can do this with one hand. this back here and see if you can watch for a minute. I don't know if this is worth trying to do or not, but we'll try. I have no idea what you're able to see. How about that? Let's make short work out of it. All right, bye-bye, y'all.